Where do you think Hong Kong will be politically and economically in 10 years?
There will be Hong Kong will be just like another Chinese city, first of all, because this uh, technology guy that I talked about, who just bought my book um, from a used bookstore. He is from mainland, right? So there'll be a lot of these guys who are replacing the old Hong Kong people who were born in Hong Kong, or someone like Jimmy Lai, who left China when they were young and then see Hong Kong as a land of opportunity. But then those with who are free thinking, they will be more fluent in English, and they will just get immersed into different countries. They will be hopefully more active in politics too, in the Five Eyes country, Canada, U.S., UK, New Zealand, Australia. Hong Kong will not be like the same Hong Kong like in 2019, meaning it's not dynamic anymore. And then you will still have the South China Morning Post, which currently is still owned by Jack Ma. And then um, will be just a place to do business, but it's not competitive as like before. And then it will not be in the top three. It will not reclaim its status as the top three in terms of being an international financial center. Because think about it, Hong Kong, well, the government says they will install more than 2,000 surveillance equipment. I don't know where they will install these things, but then there will be facial recognition. Um, like it will be like Xinjiang and Tibet, very high technology. When you enter, even if they check your eyebrow, even right, if you have a mask on, they could have a high chance to recognize who you are. So so it's not a place that I want to do businesses.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me when you're talking about the people coming in from mainland China to kind of replace the Hong Kongers. It basically is you were making that analogy about Tibet. That's what's happened to Tibet, right, in the last few decades. When you were there, Matt, you
Oh,
saw that,
when I
right?
was in Tibet, this is 2002, when foreigners could still go there. I would say about the Lhasa had been essentially divided, where one half of the city was the old Tibetan city, and then another half had been built up, and it was basically looked like a crummy third-tier mainland Chinese city. But it was just all mainlanders speaking Mandarin, and they had, the Chinese grocery stores and the Chinese, karaoke bars and that sort of thing. And it was just like, wow, I couldn't believe the amount of non-Tibetans there. And economically, they seem to be doing better. So it's like the money also got essentially sucked out of the Tibetan people into the mainlanders.
Yeah, so I mean, I wondered, Ed, what do you think about the youth of Hong Kong and what's going to happen? Because I know when we were there for the protests in 2019 and 2014, so many of the protesters were young, they're teenagers, early 20s. And there was a sense, even among the older people, that, they're kind of fighting to like protect the youth of Hong Kong, like the future of Hong Kong. This is what got people upset when the police started tear gassing, like students. So in mainland China, we see a lot of apathy now on the behalf of young people, right? The lying flat, that kind of thing. Do you think this is also what's going to happen in Hong Kong? What do you think is going to happen to the young people?
Well, this lying flat mentality, it's kind of spreading to Hong Kong now. Young Hong Kongers, they don't want to invest in the Hong Kong stock market. They do speculate in the US market, though. By the way, they don't want to put their life savings in a Hong Kong property because they don't see the future. And then people uh, in Mandarin they say "tang ping," right? So it's like lying flat. And then they simply they don't like to save for a rainy day. Um, yeah, they might want to go have a short trips to Taiwan, Japan, because it's too much for them to think about the long term. Chris asked me just now, what do you think about think of Hong Kong 10 years from now? Honestly, if there's if if a Hong Kong government and also Beijing do one simple thing, that could change the, I guess, perception of a lot of people. Meaning, if they free Jimmy Lai and the other political prisoners right now, right, through the chief executive could have the power to give amnesty. Of course, he won't do it, but let's assume that happens. It's not just me saying it, but also I think the chief rep of the U.S. Consulate General, Gregory May, right? He said if Jimmy Lai and the other political prisoners could be set free, you don't have to try to organize so many financial forums in Hong Kong. People will slowly come back, right? And I do believe it. Perception is reality. And why are they not doing it? I mean, even honestly, if they want to show some sincerity, John Lee, instead of just, and also Chris Tang, just create this online bashing team. They have an online team just like mainland now. Whoever writes something, let's say from the Wall Street Journal or New York Times or Washington Post, write something critiquing about Hong Kong, they will immediately respond, right? And then just to fight back, by writing verbally. But that makes the Hong Kong look very bad because it seems like uh, political uh, issues and also fighting back in a political sense is what they care about, and it's something that they only know, nothing else. So that scares a lot of foreign investors.